that was the idea. And so, I mean, do you want to do you have time now just to kind of share your experience?
Yeah, I do. So, I graduated with my master's in tax back in 2007, and I went into public accounting because I thought that was the only avenue after, you get a master's in taxation. There's nothing else other than public accounting. So I did public accounting for about 6 years. Um, Heavy hours, like you're saying, more than 80 hours a week and Sunday through Sunday. And I did it for 6 years, thinking every year was going to get better. And it just didn't. So I started growing the family, and that's when I made the decision to pivot and looked elsewhere. So I thought maybe go into a corporation and to their tax department. But in my search, I found coding the tax software, that's an avenue for me too. So that's what I did for Thomson Reuters. I worked on their Go Systems tax software, coding it using DOS. Have no background in coding, but they teach you very well how to do that, to maintain the software. Did that for 6 years and then moved over to Intuit, where I currently am. And I write the code now using Java for our listserv and our ProConnect Online. I still have my small practice on the side. Started off with families and friends and started growing. So now I have 60 clients. And so I
Wow.
understand the whole staffing. It's so much for me to do it on the side just for 60 clients. And I keep on getting more clients, but I keep turning them away, referring them somewhere else because it's just me.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, you're talking about this staffing. It sounds like an ideal situation, but I think one of the things, I don't know if you address it in the series that you talk about, is the sense of security. We deal with such sensitive information from our clients. How do the accountants feel secure that hiring somebody outside globally would still maintain the security and integrity of their client information? Um,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, but last year I've been doing a lot of speaking engagements, this year as well. And what we really are pushing the message for the accounting industry is, yes, not working all of those hours, instead changing up your business model of providing advisory services where you get to meet your clients throughout the year more frequently. And then you have basically their tax return by January 1st because you know what the books look like. You've made adjustments. You have that partnership with the client and they're listening to you and you're advising them so that when it comes to filing their tax return, it basically is done throughout the year.
Did you always want to be an accountant? I'm always curious in this aspect.
You know what? I love math. So
Okay.
I thought because you love math, the only career was either engineering or accounting. Now I realize it's more engineering. So I went the accounting route, but really you use basic math for accounting. You do not need to know the extreme calculations of what math complicated formulas could involve. But that's how I got into accounting. Once I got into accounting, at the university, they either have you take, or you have to take audit and a tax class. And then from there, you choose your path for your master's. Either you go the audit route or the tax route. I knew it definitely, I didn't want audit. It just was not, I wasn't feeling it. Instead, tax was definitely my passion. So I love the math. I love the tax aspect of the accounting world, and that's definitely what I have a passion for. And I love teaching it. So a lot of the webinars that I do is teaching accountants, tax preparers, tax law.
Yeah, no, it's I think I've done a couple dozen of these and I don't think there was one instance where someone was like, I'm going to be an accountant and their entire childhood and growing up. You kind of fall into the profession now. Where you how have you as you progress through your career, how do you think the profession is compared now and compared to let's say 3, 4 years ago, and
Mhm.
the future also? Do you see it getting much more advanced? Do you see it staying stagnant? Do you not think it's going to take off? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh my God, the resources we have available now, the automation, just the technology at it where it is now versus when in 2007, when I started my career, it's just amazing. In 2008, we had a really big snowstorm here in Dallas, Texas, where we just
Oh,
nobody
yeah.
leaves the house. And it was during tax season, and it was just insane. We were so behind because we just couldn't get any work done. We couldn't drive physically into the office and get the work done. Think about it now. I mean, people are traveling all over the world and working from where they are. So it
Yeah.
really provides that work-life balance for the accounting industry that we didn't have before. And like I said, technology, I mean, you upload a W-2 and it populates into your tax software without you having to do any data input. So yes, it's moving away from the data input into more advisory services for your clients, for the taxpayer. So I think it's amazing because you really get to use and showcase your tax expertise, where before you're burnt out with data entry and it's just the nuances of doing the work papers, and you kind of do, let the software do its computation and don't really have the time to analyze a client's financial situation to advise them for financial services or tax advising services.
Yeah. And looking at a firm that's like looking towards moving into that advisory model, right? I'd say 5 years ago, it wasn't on anyone's mind, but there were many firms already doing it. And then, like you said, once the profession got real comfortable with the whole technology aspect, started thinking and realizing that this is not just an input output job. You could serve your clients in such unique and ways that they would never expect from their accountant. And so, in doing that, yeah, you got to adopt technology. You got to get the right staff. You got to utilize global resources. I think the pandemic for sure has opened up the eyes and changed the mindset of the profession, and realizing that these core values are going to help their firm now and into the future. And if you don't adapt, or if you don't kind of at least explore options out there, that your firm could be obsolete. And so I see a lot more progression for sure.
Oh yeah, and I think it's bringing back the passion for what you're
Yeah.
doing, and less of a burnout. And you get more people, the younger generation, interested in the industry versus, because it's high competition out there for the younger generation. I mean, you can literally do anything, be an influencer and make money. And so how do we get this younger generation into the profession is you become passionate about what the core values of the tax industry or the accounting industry. And the data input is no longer a thing of this is what I have to do. It's all automated, removes that aspect and leaves you with really exercising your expertise.
Spot on, spot on. No, appreciate you taking time out and sharing your experience. And congrats again on being top 40 under 40. And for now, take care, and we'll be back soon. Another Account Showcase.
Yeah.
All right, so that
Okay.
cuts that. And yeah, that was it. So the team will kind of pull this clip together and send it out, and we'll tag you in it. And so, but yeah, no, at every instance
Oh, I'm
that
sorry. I didn't know this was like, I hope
yeah,
I did okay. I thought this was just let's have a casual conversation, which really what it is, a podcast
that's
episode
what
really
Account
is.
Showcase. Yeah, and I just tied it down. Yeah, no, just getting your insights.
Okay.
And
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
um,
So it's very organic.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like when I do podcasts, but I like to involve the audience, if anything, right? And so everyone's sitting behind their screen, quiet, and I like to ask question after question, just get them engaged. Or there's always at least one that gets that reaches out and starts commenting, and then you get another person, but to get that first person to engage is always so difficult. So if they feel
Yes.
like it's a conversation and we're just talking, right, and it's nothing salesy or anything, then they're apt to open up.
It's an honest
But no,
conversation. I agree.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. but you were no, spot on and adopting the technology, and that's cool. That so you put together some of the programs for Intuit.
So right now, what I like my full-time job, full-time position with Intuit is I write the code for our
Wow,
tax professional software. And
that's
then
cool.
Intuit just, I mean, if you want to do anything on the side with Intuit, or, they allow us to, during our slow time for the tax coding part, to go in and interact with other business units. So I got involved with our tax education business
Yeah.
unit. And
Okay.
so they throw out, articles, webinars for free for the tax pro community. And so I've done work with them. I've done some webinars on tax updates, tax education. And during the summer, now that we're open up for travel, I did a lot of speaking engagements pushing the message of converting, moving away from the data entry and more into an advisory business model.
Yep. Spot on. No, that's good. We need more folks like you being progressive thinking, and this profession will start to, folks will start taking that CPA exam again, or at least realizing that the profession it's fun, right?
Yeah,
So,
because you say accountant and everybody thinks you're boring.
right, yeah, and I mean, I'm not an accountant. I joined this company with a sales and marketing background. I love working with clients. I love to talk. That's all I do. That's what they pay me for. But I never, and as a child, I said, I can't wait to work for a company in India and work with accountants. I mean, I never did that. But at the same time, as you think about what you like to do, right? And I love to do speaking engagements. I love to work with clients, and I love to see how the product or service that I'm telling them about, how it works for them. And then they come back a year later and tell you their success story. I mean, I'm on cloud nine. I feel great, right? So
Yeah,
you have to find what you love to do. That's how
yeah.
I've been with this company 5 years now. And
Okay.
the model works, and visiting with, these people, these accounts that are just so, pessimistic and so just intricate with details. And an hour later, they're like, you know what? I really appreciate it. I learned so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a necessity but it all starts with having the right mindset, right?
Yes, for sure.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's all that I wanted to do today. We'll let you know when we post this out, and yeah, if you have any questions, just reach out. But I really
Okay.
appreciate it.
No problem, Chris. It was good meeting you.
Yeah, for sure. Take care. Have a good
Okay.
weekend.
Bye. You
Bye.
too.